So for the past year or so, we've been hearing rumors about an internal project at Tesla called Project Highland, and that is the refresh of the Tesla Model 3. Well, we have our first images of the refreshed front end and have some extra secret details here, so let's go ahead and break it all down. So the Model 3 is roughly 5 years old at this point and really hasn't had any huge updates to its body or interior. This project really does make sense and is coming at a very timely point where Tesla just finished the refresh of the Model S and X, and now it is time to do the next oldest vehicle, which would be the Model 3. So this project is codenamed Highland, and that's just an internal project that Tesla came up with, kind of as like a code name. And for the past several months, we've actually been getting some spy shots. Kilowatts has posted a bunch. We'll go ahead and link them all down below too if you would like to check them out yourself. But we've been seeing some spy shots of Model 3s with covers on the front end as well as the rear. Now the actual body itself has been opened, and any interior shots we've been able to see, the dash is not there. A little bit more on that later though. So we finally got to see one leak of the front end uncovered, and whether or not this leak was on purpose to build up some interest or somebody who has been fired from Tesla, we don't really know, but the fact is we have a photo and that's all that really matters at this point. So some things that we have seen from this photo. It is a complete redesign of the front bumper. It actually looks nothing like the OEM bumper, but does look a lot like the new S and X bumper, but even more so, it looks like the new next-gen Roadster bumper. That front bumper does also look like it's taken some design cues from that Ascension bumper that you can get from Unplugged Performance. Another huge change is going to be the headlights. Instead of those vertical style headlights, they went with a horizontal, a lot more like the Model S and the X. And I can't see any fog lights in this photo, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Maybe they tuck them a little better and they're a little bit more hidden, or maybe Tesla's removing them. We have seen them remove features that they actually can see people don't really use, like the sunroof in the Model S. They actually came out and said most people never even opened it, so it really wasn't worth it to put that on every single car when 90% plus of people never even use it. So maybe they're saying that fog lights just aren't really readily used, or maybe they actually enhance those front headlights so that they can kind of act as fog lights as well. And just like what Tesla has been rolling out to the entire fleet, there are no ultrasonic sensors on this. I know a lot of people have been hoping those would come back. Honestly, myself included, especially without a front camera, it's really hard for the car to know exactly what's there, especially if something is placed there after you've already parked. So that kind of leads us to the next thing is there going to be extra cameras? Now, I really played around with this photo a lot and I couldn't see anything. That doesn't mean it's not there though. But the new hardware 4 actually does have some spots for additional cameras. And one of those is projected to be a front camera on the bumper. So hopefully it's there and it's hidden really well. Tesla does that extremely well with their other cameras. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is actually there. And some other minor details that we've seen is it looks like these are new wheels. So the Model X, actually the 22-inch wheel, has little plastic caps that can go between all the little spokes. And that's what it reminds me of a lot. So perhaps they're going to come out with a new sport wheel for Model 3 as well. And as well as the side repeater camera. So we can actually see in some of the other spy photos that Kilowatts has posted, as well as some others, the side repeaters used to only be in the front fender and everything would kind of soften out. And then by the time it got to the door, it wasn't indented. But now we can see the actual door has an indent for the top of the camera line. So this is definitely a different style camera, I would say, which also leads me to believe these will be the first vehicles with hardware 4 installed. Now, my sources at Tesla have confirmed this is the refreshed front end. They have also confirmed a refreshed rear part of the vehicle. Unfortunately, we don't have pictures of those yet, but I have told it's even more polarizing than the front, and it looks amazing. Now, as soon as we can get some spy shots of the rear, I'll definitely make another video updating you, so make sure you're subscribed and have that bell on so you get notified. But I have been promised by everyone that I have talked to that the rear end looks so good. So I really can't wait to see and share that as well. Now, jumping in on the interior, like I mentioned, the spy photos that we've seen out in the wild don't have anything on the dash. Now here we can actually see the screen in this leaked photo, and it appears to be angled toward the driver, much like you can do with the Model S and X refresh vehicles that have the motors behind the screen. So if Tesla is going to be making it motorized, I don't know. They might just make it so that you can move it by yourself, like a lot of third-party accessory makers have done, and we've installed several of the Abstract Ocean versions and absolutely love those. Now there is a photo online floating around that people are claiming is the refreshed Model 3 dash. Now I have looked at this photo and I can honestly say I don't think this is the Model 3 refresh interior. Biggest rationale being in front of where the wheel would be, it actually kind of goes upwards, which would be indicative of a screen being behind the wheel. And that is something that Tesla has never put in a Model 3 or a Model Y. I don't really see a reason for them to start now, because then the differentiation between a Model 3 and Y and an S and X is almost nothing. So really at that point, if you're going to incorporate everything over to a 3 and the Y, why do you even sell an S and an X? So I don't really think that's the case with this. I do think that the new dash is going to be quite different than the current one. I don't believe they're going to be coming with a yoke to the 3 and the Y. They have since started offering a round steering wheel for Model S and X users that can be pre-selected at ordering. So maybe they got a little pushback from people on the yoke. Having experienced the yoke firsthand for 3 different cars now, we have the Plaid S, the Long Range S, as well as the Long Range X. I can say I absolutely love the yoke, but I understand why people don't want it, but at least you have an option now. Another rumor that we have seen floating around a little bit that Tesla Scope actually posted on Twitter is that Tesla's going to be stopping in-house seats and be putting that back externally, which is interesting because they used to be external, then they brought it internal to more control it, and now they might push it back out. Either way, I don't really see the seats being like a huge change. But if they change the front dash, change the seats a little bit, maybe do something with the center console. I'm not quite sure what, because I really like the new center console design of the 3 and the Y. But the more they can update, all the better. So all that being said, we'd still have a lot of questions of what could be included. What about different motors? What about a different battery? Maybe air suspension? I'm not quite sure. I would love to see something with the motors that could make it even faster. But again, if you start really going fast enough to kind of compete with a Tesla Model S Plaid, you're really going to eat up your sales of a Tesla Model S Plaid with like a Model 3 Performance. So I'm not sure how Tesla is going to be kind of moving along that line to make it faster and more agile. And same thing with the air suspension. If you add air suspension to like the 3 and the Y, why would more people feel like they should go for the S and the X? At that point, it blurs the lines a lot between the two vehicles. But that's not to say that Tesla's going to be hiding some things under the hood. And another great question is, what about the Y? The Model 3 and the Y actually share a large number of parts. So if they're redesigning the dash of a Model 3 and redoing the front end of a Model 3 and changing headlights and everything, it really doesn't make sense to me to not carry it over to the Y, because then they're going to have to carry different SKUs for different cars and all kinds of things, and it actually makes logistical nightmares, whereas they've done so much to streamline it. For them to all of a sudden be like, okay, let's go ahead and separate 3 and Y a little bit more, kind of is a step in the wrong direction in my eyes. So I would actually expect that the Y could be getting a similar update with similar parts very soon. And speaking about soon, what's the timeline of this? When are we going to be able to buy this vehicle? Because I've seen it, and at first I was very just like, I don't really like the front end too much, but it's really grown on me. So I'm actually kind of thinking about adding another Model 3. I don't know. I probably shouldn't, but at the same point, they are really fun and agile cars. So maybe. But when can we order this? If I place an order now, do I have a good chance of getting one? Probably not. I would wait till it's actually announced and maybe becomes a little bit more in the public's eye. Now, Tesla did actually release the Model S and X refresh during an earnings call, and we actually have an earnings call this Wednesday, April 19th, which we will be live streaming, so make sure you join. It's always a lot of fun. We do a little pre-party, watch the live stream together, and do a post wrap-up. So definitely join us for that. but it could be this Wednesday is when we find out and get an official word on the Model 3 refresh, if it's ready. If they're not quite ready yet, I could see them maybe pushing it off 3 more months for the next quarterly earnings call. I've been hearing rumors that summer would be the time for this Model 3 refresh to drop. So if that's the case, if they're going for early summer, I could see them announcing it this Wednesday. If they're going for late summer, I could see them pushing it off 3 more months. But also another question is, what about pricing? Tesla has reduced pricing a lot lately. And sometimes when you reduce pricing, it could mean you're trying to clear out inventory. So when you bring something new, you don't have a lot in inventory. So really my thoughts on this are, is Tesla lowering the price of the 3 and the Y to kind of clear out some parts? And then once they introduce this refresh, kind of raise the prices a little bit, because it will kind of influx into the market a little bit and probably want a lot of people to upgrade. I like the pricing where it's at, but if they did up it, I would kind of understand why, because that's just kind of how markets work. So yeah, that's basically it. Definitely let us know down in the comment section below, how do you feel about this new front end of the Model 3? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you going to buy it? Are you going to upgrade? Are you going to wait for it to come to the Y possibly? Definitely let us know and we can talk about it down there. Again, huge thanks to everyone for like the spy photos, the renders. So the 2 white Model 3s that we have shown were actually car renders by some very talented people. We'll go ahead and link everything down below, all their socials, so go check them out, show them some love. Overall though, I'm super excited to see it. I know Model 3 looks iconic still, but I think it is due for a refresh, and I think that'll just spur the market even more to buy it, which is obviously a great thing. But that's basically it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you're looking to accessorize your Tesla Model S, X3, and Y, and now Rivian as well, definitely check them out. All linked down below. So many cool, fun, useful accessories that really help improve your car, as well as create it your own. That's basically it though. Thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones, and we will see you guys on Wednesday for the live stream. Bye.